1, 2, 3, clap. Hi, and welcome to Hey Buddy, Nice Podcast. Over there, shaking in their Scottish boots because it's spooky month, that's Brogan Hastings.
And over there, not shaking at all because he lives in a country full of terrifying creatures as it is, it's Wayne Giovanazzi.
Oh yes, terrifying creatures, they are everywhere. They're closer than I would like them to be as well.
Like right now?
Not right this second. Well, I don't know. Maybe right this second. I just mean in general. Not even in. It's actually more specific than in general.
What's the thing? You're never less than 5 feet from a spider.
Probably not. See, after we had our big episode where we talked about spiders and stuff like that, I was thinking it's not really a thing. And then I sort of realized that every morning when I pick up my work boots, I will shake them just to make sure there isn't a spider in them. Mm-hmm. That is every morning. But no, there's the spiders are coming for me.
No, this is why I could never live in Australia. I couldn't deal with that at all.
Well, we know how the spiders were making their home on my wing mirrors on the car, right? Mm-hmm. Over the last week or so, I've noticed more and more cobwebs appearing on my car.
Free decorations?
And no, well, I was like, this is great for fucking Halloween. I'll leave it as is. Mm-hmm. But the one on the passenger side was just starting to get really big. And I noticed on the hood, like looking through the windshield at the hood, where like the windshield wipers and that are, there was spider webs there as well. Mm-hmm. And the other day I got in the car and I thought I must have walked through a little spider web while outside, but it could have been inside the car. I was like, oh, there's spider web on my face. Yeah, let's get that off. I don't give it a second thought. But Kez was like, I was driving Kez to work the other day and she says, that spider web on my side is getting pretty big. I think it's about time you do something about it. It's like, yeah, all right, I'll get rid of it. I mean, I don't want to fuck with the spider though. It's like, one, I don't want to fuck with the spider, and two, it's just doing its thing. I haven't seen a bug in my car in at least a month. Mm-hmm. But then, as we're driving down the road to her place of employment, she doesn't freak out or anything. She's just like, motherfucker, or something along those lines, and it's like, there's a spider in the air conditioning vent. I saw it when the sun shined through the window and it was just glistening in the sun. And I'm like, okay, can you see how big it is? She's like, it's not big. It's not big, but it is a chunky boy. He's got some girth to him.
And we know from our research the fact that a not so big spider in Australia is fucking massive in the rest of the world.
It wasn't that big.
That's by your standards.
No, this is by standards. Remember when I asked you how uncomfortable size of a spider it would have to be for you to words work really well out of my mouth? How big the spider would have to be for you to be uncomfortable with it? And I think we decided it was like the size of a fingernail or something similar like that.
Yeah.
Or an Australian 5-cent coin. Mm-hmm. This was tiny. It was not a big spider.
I don't believe you. I don't believe.
I still don't want to look. It could fit in that little gap that I'm making with my hand. Where is something I can compare? Okay, it was maybe a centimeter, right, with its legs spread out, centimeter and a half max. Right.
And Kez still referred to it as a chunky boy.
She was wrong. She was mistaken. It was not a chunky boy. It wasn't a skinny spider, but it wasn't a daddy long legs, that's for sure. But it wasn't like a big fat window spider or a garden spider or anything like that. I don't know what type it was. I don't know if it was venomous, but still, you don't want to mess with it. And I purposely didn't have the air turned on to make sure it wasn't going to get agitated or anything. Mm-hmm. So after I dropped Kez off, she noped the fuck out of that car pretty quick. And I'm like, yep, I just close that little air vent and I don't have to look at it because I could see the spider web as well if I looked into it, even though it was not directly in front of me. And I'm driving home like, all right, what am I going to do? When I get home, I'll get the bug spray, the poison, and I'll spray it into the aircon vent. I'll spray it into all 4 of them just to be safe, and I'll take care of the rest of the car as well. I believe spiders can read minds, because as I've started to think that, I'm like, I'm glad I didn't say that out loud now so the spider couldn't hear me. Then it starts to crawl out the vent. I'm like, dude, are you fucking trying to threaten me now, bruh? Is this what this is? You're like, you ain't gonna spray me, my friend. And it's like, dude, stay the fuck in the vent. So it's not a long drive home, but it kept on like going in and out a little bit. Like, but it was just, I still didn't have a full picture of how big it was. It was just like the legs coming out. It's, I believe, when we were talking about spiders on the Piff Pod, Matt said that he was under the impression that the majority of spider deaths are not caused by a spider biting you in Australia. It's caused when you pull down the little sun visor and a spider falls onto you.
Yeah.
I believe that he is probably correct.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that.
Yeah.
But I think what everyone can't see, because obviously this is an audio-only format, is that I have gone through a face journey listening to this story. Because I have no words. Just
well, that's not over yet.
And yeah, exactly, and it's still not over yet.
So how many times in your life do you think you've sprayed insect? What do you call it? A can of fly spray is the typical colloquial name in Australia.
I think we probably
it's like you spray flies with it.
We don't use it a lot.
No,
my mum does. My mum does spray. We've had a lot of fruit flies this season, and my mum started spraying them with a kitchen cleaner because it was
just like Ajax that motherfucker.
Yeah, like I'll try and swat it. She's like, "No, get the kitchen cleaner."
I feel really bad about it because I understand what the poison is doing to it and how it is killing it, and it's not pleasant. But when you spray, say there's a spider in a hidey hole, right, and you spray it will come out of that hidey hole.
Yeah,
it's not like a fucking cat where it's like, I'm going to die, I'm going to go off on my own and pass. No, spider's like, I'm coming out, I'm going to scare every fucking motherfucker I can before I kick it.
Yeah.
So
I'm going down and I'm taking you with me.
Yeah. It's going to try and jump at you and lodge itself down your throat so you also die from the poison. No, so it climbs out, and I've sprayed a lot into this vent. So it is just covered in this white foam. And it's walking along like it's in, I don't know. All I picture is the movie. Have you seen RoboCop?
Yes.
There's the scene where the guy gets covered in the vat of acid and is like all like melty, and then like he gets hit by a car and just like explodes. That's kind of what happened to this spider, because it climbed out of the vent all covered in poison. I'm like, I'm glad you've come out, because now I can just end this quickly and just squash you with these tissues. So it had a RoboCop-esque death. It didn't die with honor.
No.
But that was not the only spider in the car. There was like, I knew that there was no spider on my side, so I sprayed in that window, even though there was some some spider web. I still sprayed in there, and then I sprayed on Kez's side, and I sprayed on the hood. It's like, I'm not hanging around for this, because every time on the wing mirrors, they are chunky boys. So I did not want to deal with it. I just got out of there, came back inside, played some video games. No, I didn't even do that. I started comic streaming. And then I played some video games, and then I went back out, and the spider from the wing mirror, it had crawled out. It was dead. It was hanging in a little bit of spider web on the side of the door, and it was big. Well, look, I say big. If its legs were spread out, it'd probably be like
That's
that.
big. That's a very big spider.
Yeah.
No, that's not
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I'm not saying like my hand. It's like it fits in the hole.
Yeah,
there.
but that's
It's
not okay.
It's not like it's
That's
not like
still
that,
not
is it?
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You're too used to this.
Look, talking about it, my feet are now. I've sort of like my legs are tensing up, and my feet are no longer touching the ground, just in case there's a spider there.
I'm 14,000 kilometers away, and I'm still cringing.
It's like if you watch the movie Arachnophobia, you can't just watch Arachnophobia and not be looking around for spiders on your walls and shit.
Which is why I can never watch Arachnophobia.
Yeah, it's not a great movie. There's some things that annoy me about it. Like someone thinks they see a giant spider on the wall, and in the film it's clearly this giant spider, but then they turn on the light and it's a coat rack. It's like, come on, that is pretty daft. Like, make it ambiguous. Don't show us an actual fucking spider and turn it into a coat rack.
What a great way to start the first podcast of spooky season.
Well, yeah, we are in the spooky month. We're a couple of days in now, aren't we? What is it today? The 2nd of October.
Yeah.
So, see, I feel kind of bad because every year I try to do spooky comics. I'll still do some spooky comics, but for the last couple of years I've been partaking in Comictober, where there's a bunch of prompts, a prompt for each day, where you base a comic based on that prompt. But I'm just not doing it today. I'm lazy. I'm not doing it this month, I should say.
just this one day. You'll do the rest of the days. Just this one day.
Oh god! Like, see, I saw the one from this time last year, and the prompt was hex, right? And I really liked my comic of that, where two people, first person's like, I'm casting a hex on you, then, whoa. And then in the last panel, the guy is now, instead of the usual black color, is turned blue, and he's got the hexadecimal number written on him for what that color blue is. Not spooky inherently, but it fit the theme.
Yeah. Doesn't say it has to be spooky, just as long as it fits the theme.
Exactly. I think today's was eyes or eyeballs or something. I don't even know what I would do for a comic. I guess it could have been a sad pirate comic, couldn't it?
Well,
oh my god, I should have done it. It's like, sad pirate, how did you lose that eye? Why do you wear an eye patch? It's like, yar, my eye became sentient on its own and crawled out of my skull. I don't know. It could have been done.
There's still time. It's only day 2, but I hear the prompt "I," and all I can think of is back in the Tumblr days.
Eye.
Well, no, there was a post on Tumblr ages back where it's like, person walks into a room. It's like, yeah, hi. Next text is, the giant floating eyeball that lives in my kitchen stares back at me. Why do I even fucking bother? There was a comic of that. I'll have to find it, but it just absolutely cracked me up.
It sounds like Alarmingly Bad, where it's Galbor, the giant floating eye, or something like that.
I don't even think it was that specific. It was just...
Oh, okay. Yeah, because his giant floating eye works in an office. I like the Alarmingly Bad. I think it's Galbor. I can't remember exactly the name. Did a collab with Alarmingly Bad one time.
You did?
It was actually a really good comic. Yeah. It was a joke that I had written down in my list for so long, and I couldn't work out how I wanted to turn it into a comic. And it was in, as you're aware, you have seen my comic idea lists. There's a green one for ideas I think that will work, yellow for ones that need to be fleshed out, and red, which just don't make any sense at all. And for the red one, I'd just written giant anime kitties as a play on what that sounds like. For those playing at home, that would be giant anime titties, just so you know. And I can't remember how it happened, but another comic artist, who was it? Oh, it was Litterbox Comics. They were making a joke about something or other, and that's when I just said the giant anime kitties, because it was, I'm not going to be able to turn it into a comic, and it worked for whatever their tweet was. It's like, yay, I got that out of my system. But then Alarmingly Bad liked it, and we were talking about, it's like, I sense a collab coming on. So what I wanted it to be was, I think from discussing it, I think my vision became the old joke, the 9-inch pianist joke.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep, with the guys in the bar. Oh, it pulls out the tiny guy playing the piano. It's like, oh well, found a genie. Got 3 wishes. And do you really think I asked for a 9-inch pianist? It was like that, right?
Yeah.
It was like there's a shot of giant anime cats destroying the city, and then it's like, my God, what's happening? Why are these cats doing this? It's like, well, I didn't ask the genie for giant anime kitties, but I prefer the way it came out. Yeah. I think I can't even remember how it went. Oh no, they find the person's walking along. They rub the lamp. The genie pops out and whispers in the genie's ear, and then I think it's like, I didn't ask for giant anime kitties, and there's a giant Meowth and another anime cat destroying the city.
I do remember this. I've just found the one I'm talking about, and I've just sent it to you. But
okay, hang on.
But you'll see.
I was gonna look on my computer, but I have my phone right here. Yes, that is not Galbor. That is a good comic.
Yeah, that's what I think of whenever I think of I.
See this. Did you fully explain the comic audibly? Did you?
I did, but
on this podcast. No, because this is what my first when Chris was doing early days of Who Scoops. He was asking if anyone wants to run an advertisement for free.
Yeah.
Hit me up. Mm-hmm. You know what? I think I've still got it, so we'll insert that advertisement right now.
Hello, this is Wayne, and I draw a little webcomic called Not So Good at This. I understand this is an advertisement of the audio or oral kind, and it's hard to portray something of a visual nature in this way. So I figured I'd read one and hopefully entice your interest. Alright, here we go. Oh man, that was a good one. Perhaps I should have read it out loud. Oh well, now I'm running out of advertising space, so why don't you just check out notsogoodатthis.com or @WayneGeo on all social media. Except for Facebook. Some other Wayne took that before me.
There's another joke I've seen that, like, maybe, I feel like somebody sent this to Penn, but I can't remember exactly, but it was like, I want an audiobook that's just 8 hours of silence with with heavy breathing. And then at the end, oh, you wanted it read out loud?
Yeah.
What, out loud?
And I think making that advertisement was direct influence on why the Not So Good at This podcast existed, because, or it still does exist now, doesn't it? It's just a podcast within a podcast, but it's because I like the idea of a visual format being done in an audible way, which yes, a lot of it is definitely lost, but the whole thing is meant to be a joke. It was meant to be a joke anyway. The reason I stopped doing that joke is because it was taking up a lot of time. Because I was doing 10 episodes a week.
Yeah, you were really doing a lot.
Yeah, the goal was to keep them all under a minute. And that took some effort to keep them under a minute. When it came to Brent and Paul doing theirs, I was like, that's going out the window, I think. I'll try. I think there was 1 or 2 that were like a minute 10 or something. But you have to allow the geniuses to do their thing.
Exactly. You can't just stop Paul Mattingly. I mean, this isn't ICS.
Exactly. All right. While we're on the subject of comics, maybe we can go straight into art talk today. See where that leads us, hey?
Yeah.
But maybe I should just do all spooky comics because they're always pretty popular. And they don't get the kind of attention that I don't want. And it's the last couple of comics have been a bit questionable in taste, I think, from me. I would
probably agree with that.
but the thing is, it's always there's always a lot of pun jokes and double entendres, which are obvious jokes, and they end up just bringing out the dredge comments from people.
Yeah.
It's and that's not what I want. It doesn't matter what the comic looks like it's saying to you. That's not what it's saying.
Yeah.
Even if it was saying that, it's still off base for some of the shit that people are saying.
Yeah. It's like, just why do people feel the need to say it?
I don't know. Maybe they think that I'm their bro or something. And it's like, oh, this guy, he gets me. It's like, I don't even want to say the comment, so I'm not going to.
It's hard enough to make friends with you anyway.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. But yeah, I mean, we decided after I showed you one of these comics that I think we were both in agreement that it wasn't going to be one of the comics read on the podcast.
There's definitely at least one that you showed me. I was like, that's great. We're never reading that on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And look, even in the heyday of Not So Good at This podcast, there were comics that I didn't do. There's comics that I've removed because I don't like them because of what people had turned them into. Mm-hmm. So it's fine. I mean, I say what they turned them into, but what is it? Art is subjective. It's like, no, motherfucker. This art is not subjective. Mm-hmm. I created it. I will tell you exactly what it is and what it's representing.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm talking about. We've got no comics to read today, so we're gonna go. Oh, okay. So do we talk? We'll talk about your art first. Hey,
okay.
How did you go? How did you go this week in this past 7 days?
I restarted Penn and Teller bi-weekly bit, which I knew I would, and I said this last time. You know, I was taking the last scheduled date off because I just could not get it right.
Yeah.
And even this one, because I thought what I might do is, right, just take an extra 2 weeks, work on this bit, see how it goes. Yeah, I think King of Animal Traps is going to be one that sits there for a long time. And then one day I'll pick it up and finish it in 2 hours. It feels like one of those bits.
I don't even think I've seen it in progress, have I?
No. I'll send it over to you later, but it's a mess. Yeah. It is an actual mess. So I wasn't really sure what to do. So I started looking through. Actually, my go-to is I search Penn and Teller on YouTube and just start going through clips and see what jumps out. Because I could look through the specials, like, because obviously there's Off the Deep End, there's Don't Try This at Home, but I know those specials by heart, so I know what's in them. So I've already kind of eliminated all that in my head for that bit. But I came across a video of a bit I'd never seen before. And
do you know what it's from, though?
I don't even recognise it. That's the thing.
I know that it exists on Unpleasant World.
Oh, maybe. Right enough. But certainly in this setting, and essentially to explain what it is it's Penn and Teller. Teller wheels Penn out, and Penn's on some kind of stand thing. And he's essentially held up and stuck in the pose that looks like the classic stand-up comedian, hand in the pocket, hand holding the microphone to his face.
It kind of looks like it's an apparatus used in a BDSM sex dungeon.
It does. So we know
Perfect
Penn got his props
Penn.
from home.
Yeah.
I say jokingly, but not really. But yeah, and it's them introducing a stand-up bit, and essentially the premise is, you know, comedians talk about dying on stage. I'm going to show you what that feels like. And every time that the audience doesn't react or laugh as much as either Penn or Teller would have expected, Teller hurts Penn, which includes stubbing out a cigarette on his face, just smashing his nose, and cutting off his microphone hand, which is obviously, it's all a trick, it's all fake.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But I did
if you look hard enough, you can tell that it's fake.
Yeah. It's a really good bit to watch, just because Teller's got all the props in front of him, and Penn's doing really, really bad basic stand-up. It's not good.
Oh, yeah.
But you've got Teller looking there, and he's looking at the crowd, looking at Penn, and, you know, and he would, like, make faces like, oh, is that... Will I hurt? Yes, I will hurt Penn for that.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the break, and Penn doesn't stop. Penn is never like, no, don't do that. He just keeps going even when Teller smashes his nose.
Yeah, because that is they're trying to convey what it is like.
Exactly.
To die on stage.
Exactly. But
So the version that you based it on, I'm just looking at the background. Did you, is that what the background looked like in the video you watched, or did you add that?
no, that was the background from the actual video. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really liked it, is because I was like, I really like that background.
I've not seen this version then.
It's called, the video is called Penn and Teller Early Stand Up on Comedy Club Network.
Never heard of that.
And it looks, so I mean, you can tell it's old because Penn's got his like
The
fluffy
hair.
afro, which is strange for me
Yeah.
because even if it's an old bit, I tend to give Penn his modern hair,
Yeah,
with the exception
you
of
modernize it.
Renaissance Fair.
Yeah,
But
it's the only
yeah,
version I've seen of that. You go on.
I was going to say we'll link it on the Twitter because I actually meant to put a link on the actual post, but
Yep.
we'll link it later.
Yeah, you're best off adding a link later on. Otherwise, the algorithm, it just takes it and it just destroys it.
Yeah.
But the only version of that trick I've seen, or that bit that I've seen, is it's definitely Unpleasant World, because it starts off with a stand-up comedian and doing a 2-minute set or something.
Yeah.
And it's the guy from The Mummy. What's his name?
Brendan Fraser? Brendan Fraser.
No, wait. No, not the main guy from The Mummy. The guy who's the little...
Oh, Mitchili.
I don't know. He gets a scarab beetle crawl into his brain and he runs out of the...
I think that's Omid Djalili.
So say the name slowly because the accent's not helping me.
Omid Djalili.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that might be him. He was in Grand Theft Auto 4, The Ballad of Gay Tony as well. Yes, that is him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did a couple minutes stand up, and then Penn asked him, "So how do you think that went?" And it's like, yeah, it went all right. No, be honest. Like, it wasn't your best stuff, was it? It's like, there was a couple of jokes there I thought fell flat, and that's when they go into the, well, now we're going to show you what it feels like to die on stage to the audience. So was there any preface of like that in this bit? Oh well, no. They were doing a comedy show, so they had heaps of.
Pretty much. They just
acts
kind
before them, yeah.
of they just kind of started talking about, guys are going to come out, they're going to tell their jokes, and you're going to laugh, but sometimes you're just going to chuckle. You're going to think it's funny, but you're just going to chuckle, and that's not enough, is it? So we're going to show you what happens when you just chuckle. So yes, so now I'm going to have to think. I'd quite like to get I think I say this every time. I'd quite like to get not a backlog, but a ready supply of bits to just post as and when.
As in have them drawn, not just ideas written down.
Yeah, or at least started and close enough to finished. So maybe it just needs coloured, it just needs shading, it just needs line art sorted. It's like the sketch is fine, it just needs finished off.
Yeah. See, I find it very hard to do that, to not do a full project from start to finish in one go.
Yeah.
My projects are usually small because they're just a comic, and that's why anything bigger that I've attempted to do hasn't really gotten off the ground. It's just been like there was a comic that I was doing, which was meant to be more like a book series. And
I have to interrupt you there because Wayne's got his little octopus on his desk that now has a pirate hat, and for some unknown reason he picked it up and started dancing in the camera as if I was a baby and he was keeping me amused.
This pirate hat was falling off, so I thought I'd fix it, and I saw him in the camera, and I was like, I'll make him dance. But I distracted myself and made myself laugh.
It,
yeah. But anyway, I start these things, I draw like 4 or 5 pages of issue 1, and then that was 3-4 years ago, so it's just I don't go back to it.
It's very hard to do big projects, and sometimes even then I need reminding if I step away from it, like with the tarot cards. The big project, I never stopped really, took breaks from it, but it was always, I need to get this thing out, but then back to the big project.
Yeah.
Which as we know is fucking huge. Jesus Christ.
But is it fully done now, or are you still making more edits?
The actual project itself is done. It's absolutely done.
Yep.
It just needs, sorted.
Yeah.
It just needs.
Yeah. I think that's what you meant.
Yeah, and the side characters and their individual printed in stickers.
Yes.
But yes, it's totally done, thankfully. And I've had, I don't think there's anything else I need to do on it.
Yeah.
I say that now, and we'll find something.
Someone will point something out to you, and you'll be like, "Son of a bitch."
Yep.
That's how. It's always good when that happens before it's published. Unlike something like a typo in a comic, that's a tough one. It's like with the comic that I just drew, which doesn't exist in the world yet, there is... look, I really like this comic. It's going to be published, hopefully, by the time this episode is out. So we'll talk about it now, hey? So it starts off, it opens up with a dad joke, right? But it's a standard, right? For dad jokes, everyone knows it. Then it goes into joke number one for me in the next panel. So there's 2 jokes already.
Yeah.
Then joke number 3 kicks in straight into after that. So that's 3 jokes in 4 panels. And then, is it 4? 1, 2, 3? No, 3. Yeah, okay. Yep, I'm still on par. I've got the number of panels wrong. But then there's... I don't know if it's a joke, but it's like it's a self-aware moment. And then there's another joke.
Yeah.
So basically it goes as a guy and he's like, know why I make a terrible doctor? And then the second panel, because I don't have any patience. And then the third panel is his friend is like, actually it's because your mortality rate is off the charts. Then in the next panel, it's the 2 of them just going, doctor jokes, like arm flourish, jazz hands, arms around shoulders kind of thing. And then the last panel is, but seriously, your license is being revoked.
I remember this. You said this concept to me and said, should I add the bonus panels? I was yes, please add the bonus panels.
Yeah, I think that feels like the first comic in a long time where it's just been packed in every single panel. No filler or anything like that. Only filler is the setup to the dad joke in panel 1. Yeah. And then the rest of it goes well. There's another joke. Which I think I told you as well. The Hitler comic. Yeah.
I did like that.
Yeah. That will be the third comic of mine with Hitler in it. No, sorry, the second. The other one, so there's one with Hitler and then there's another one with a child dressed as Hitler. But yeah, that one I'm looking forward to because I think that's a strong joke.
Yeah.
None of this double entendre or anything like that. Oh, wait, that means I might get like Nazi sympathizers or something commenting on the comics.
Jesus.
God.
Can't win. The internet is, for the most part, a cesspool.
But then again, it didn't happen with the last Hitler comic, which was... you're familiar with the television program The Masked Singer, obviously.
Of course. Because we know I am the world's biggest Hydra fan.
Yes, exactly. But this was a comic based on The Masked Singer, where it was like, all right, let's see who's under the robot mask. As I take it off, and they take it off. It's Hitler, and the crowd goes wild. Yep. And that was about the reaction that I got from the internet as well.
I was trying to I think because when you were talking about it, all I could think was, if that happened, would it be the same as the reaction to Rudy Giuliani, where they just cut it? They had judges walking off.
See, I didn't even watch the rest of that season after Hydra left.
I only remember about it because I remember so many people talking about it, and I'm like, what? Why the fuck would they put Rudy Giuliani on it?
See, I knew about it before the season started airing, though, as well, because it was like TMZ or some shit.
Yeah.
And they were he was actually the first person kicked off the show, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some TV editing magic going on there.
Yeah.
It's like they had a spider on the wall, and then when they turned on the light, it was a coat rack.
Oh. Should we talk about Masked Singer?
Yeah, speaking of the Masked Singer, how's that that was a pretty good segue, wasn't it?
That was an excellent segue.
That's right. From comic to Hitler to the Masked Singer. But yes, the latest season of the United States version of the Masked Singer has started airing. And I figured I'd give it a watch because I've watched all the other seasons, just not the latest one. Because the only reason I would watch it was because, like, hey, you know what? One day, Penn and or Teller might be on this show. Mm-hmm. And it actually happened, which surprised the shit out of me. And I figured I got no need to watch this. But I was... I think you watched this episode before me, and I just assumed you would not give a shit about this now since Hydra isn't on it. Mm-hmm. But apparently I was wrong because I watched it and there was an act, and I messaged you and said, pretty sure that such and such character is one of the Monty Python boys. Mm-hmm. And your response was something like, yeah, well, in that case, I'd say you've got a pretty good ear. I thought that you were just like complimenting me or something. It was like, yeah, well, if you think it is, there's a good chance that it could be. I trust you on that. As in, only reason I'm saying this was like, hey, Brogan, I think you should watch this.
Yeah. I already knew by the time you text me that, well, wait, because it's out now, we can say spoilers. Eric Idle was Hedgehog.
Yeah.
So the fact that, why did I watch it? I think it was maybe because Penn said.
That's right.
You know.
He was tweeting about it.
Aye, and I seen the clues section come up first, and I thought, hold on a sec. So I knew it was, you could tell from from just a screenshot that it was somebody from the UK, because it was all like London stuff. I was like, okay, I wonder if this is somebody I know. And the second he opened his mouth, I could kind of tell because there was a python in the clues as well. I was like, yeah. Let's be honest. It's really only going to be John Cleese or Eric Idle. So it has to be Eric Idle because John Cleese is the only man who's ever been in a Broadway play and ordered not to sing.
Oh, okay, yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, he like self-professed horrendous singer.
Yeah.
You know, his only song he's got 2 songs on any of the Python albums. One of them is Eric the Half a Bee, and the other is Oliver Cromwell. And even then, you can't really call them singing. So,
are they more like Fred Durst rock rap verses?
Oliver Cromwell's probably closer to a lecture with slight variations in levels and pitch.
Yeah.
And Eric the Half a Bee is sung in the voice of Eric Praline, which this shows how sad I am with Python stuff. So Eric Praline is the character who comes up quite a lot, but most well known for Dead Parrot Sketch.
Oh, okay.
Eric Praline is John Cleese's character in Dead Parrot Sketch.
I was going to say, you're just maggoty with all these Python facts, but that is probably their most well-known sketch, I'd say.
Yeah.
At least worldwide.
Yeah, exactly. So it's that kind of weird... I don't even know how to describe it, but it's that sort of weird voice that he uses.
Yep.
But, so yeah, I kind of already knew it would be Eric. I knew if it was a Python, it would be Eric Idle. So the second he started singing, I was like, no, that's Eric Idle. That is Eric Idle.
Even I said I'd be saying Eric Idle because I can sort of hear look on the bright side kind of coming out of it.
It's like I've spent far too long listening to Python albums and Eric Idle singing to not know when my favourite Python boy is on there.
So I think we decided that's why Penn was tweeting about the show, because he's friends with Eric.
Yeah. And I did also laugh because I noticed afterwards that Paul McCartney tweeted,
I was about to bring this up.
From a little birdie that a pal of mine is on there. Which makes sense later because I know that Eric did reach out to Paul and ask if he could use the Beatles song. But for those who don't know, Paul and Eric have had beef for years.
Oh, really?
I think it's playful beef, but
yeah.
I think it's very similar to Who Scoops and Matt Donnelly.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
Matt Donnelly, who is 100% a real person.
100% can confirm is a real person. You know,
for those at home that don't listen to Ice Cream Social, Matt and Manley's Ice Cream Social podcast, Matt Donnelly is a real person.
He's a real boy.
Yes.
But yeah, no, Paul and Eric have had Paul. I think Paul was genuinely angry at Eric for a long time. Because Eric Idle done a thing called The Ruttles, which was a Beatles parody on Saturday Night Live. They done 2 movies for it, but Eric played the Paul McCartney character. Stig, I'm sure it was, or Dirk.
The Stig.
I think it was Stig or Dirk. I can't remember exactly what the name was, but it was essentially a parody of that. And bearing in mind, Eric, I think Eric's best friend in the world ever was George Harrison.
Yeah. Okay.
And Ringo liked it. I think Paul was a bit bratty about it.
Yeah.
So he wasn't 100% sure they would get the rights to the Paul McCartney song, but yeah, they reached out.
So they kind of had a Copperfield and Penn and Teller relationship then?
A little bit.
You know, 90s kind of relationship. I assume, it sounds like the Copperfield was not happy with Penn and Teller, especially Penn, all the time.
Yeah, I think there was very few people who were happy with Penn at that time. I think it just goes to prove that Teller is a goddamn saint, and I say that as Penn's actual words.
So, you mentioned the Paul McCartney tweet. I did see this as well, where Paul McCartney tweets, "Oh, little birdie says a friend of mine's on The Masked Singer," and then there was a reply to that tweet. Was like, "How fucking insane would it be if this is how we discover that John Lennon's been alive this whole time?"
I've seen that. That would have been so fucking funny.
Yeah. Oh god, if that happened, that is Andy Kaufman level bullshit.
Oh yeah.
And I would believe that the Matrix was breaking down, that our world is in fact a simulation. If that were to happen,
I'll be honest, that would have maybe been a relief at this point.
that John Lennon is not dead.
That the world is actually a Matrix. Like, oh, thank God.
Oh, yeah. It's like,
There's a
John
system
Lennon's
error.
here. We're saved.
Just
No,
reboot
John Lennon is the second coming.
Yeah, just reboot reality. We'll be fine.
Yep. Yeah. Oh God, the world is a piece of shit, and we're all gonna die. Yeah. I was like, how can we get out of this one? Oh, I know. Microphone abuse. What we need to do, we need to leave this planet and maybe start exploring the final frontier, which is, of course, space. Because that brings us to another person who was on The Masked Singer.
Yes, I was like, where are you going with this? But yeah, I was. Yeah,
I should have got it from the clues, really, because are we just outright saying who the fuck it was?
Oh yeah, Mr. William Shatner.
It was William Shatner. All the clues, the Shat, yes, all the clues were relating to, of course, Shatner, but there was a lot of space clues and things like that, but not to do with Star Trek, but because he has been into outer space.
Yeah.
My voice went weird then, but I wasn't trying to do my Shatner impersonation. It was just I didn't want to say that it was space because I don't know. Technically, it was just outside the stratosphere or something. I don't know if it was actually space or not. That's all.
I think he went high enough for like the level that you would consider space. He just got there. They took it up just enough to call it space and then brought it back down.
Yeah. So now, which of the ludicrous billionaires did he go up with? Was it with Branson or was it with Bezos?
If I remember right, it was Bezos.
Okay. Was it? I can't remember.
Fuck Bezos.
Yeah.
I love Amazon, but fuck Jeff Bezos.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was looking on Amazon the other day for... after we mentioned it to each other, it was custom cowboy hats.
I
which
still think we
don't-
should get
I
custom
don't think
cowboy
you can
hats.
find. I can't find them. I can't find one where you can put your own designs all over it.
Somebody will know.
I don't know. But speaking of designs, look, we are Segway masters today.
We're good at this.
Yeah.
We are
Speaking of
unprofessional.
new designs, we are what?
We are unprofessional.
Oh, good. I thought you said Aboriginal. It's like that's a weird thing to say. But on any time I go to a new work site, you have to do an induction, right? And one of the questions is, are you of Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander descent? And you've got the choice to say yes, no, prefer not to say. Just I don't know. One day I might tick prefer not to say.
I was going to say, how many times do you just check prefer not to say?
I don't. I feel like it's. I don't really know the point of the question. I'm sure there is an important point, not just the government tracking us for whatever reason, but I don't know. I'm not messing with it for that particular reason, because it's like any time we're watching something on the government broadcast channel, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, ABC in Australia, right? It's like the BBC, basically. Quite often they'll say, viewer discretion is advised. This program contains the images and voice recordings of people who are deceased, because for some reason to do with, I don't know. It's usually if it's native Australians that are appearing in it who are now dead. Right. I don't know if it's meant to be like a trigger warning or something like that. But so I'm not going to question that either. I'm not going to say it's a stupid thing to say at the start of a show. It's like, it's nothing to do with me or my heritage, so it can stay in there.
Yeah.
But there are definitely people who complain. But that was a tangent that ruined our perfect segue.
Yeah. What were we segue? New designs.
Yes, designs being put on things. Well, these were sitting there since before the shop opened.
Yes.
Weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
well, two of them were.
Yeah. So you had already drawn up the sticky note / post-it note design.
Yeah.
And then I think I made the suggestion of, why don't we have that, but put it over like an ice cream social logo?
Yeah.
So it looks like we're just covering them up. And
that made us laugh really, really hard.
Yeah, we loved the idea, but we figured we should seek permission from the king and ask if it's something we can actually use. And good old Matt Donnelly got back to us and said he loved it. So we've gone ahead and put those on our store. More Brogan designs.
That's because I just keep coming up with things in my head to the point that I miss my tram stops when picking up my car. But yes, so there's those two, which and I love the title and everything, just totally not stolen merch.
Yeah. So one of them is the Pegasus cone logo with, you can just, if you know ICS, you'll recognize it straight away. It's just got our post-it note over it. And the other one is like the ICS established 2014 emblem kind of thing. It's
the one, if you've got the ICS hoodie, the nautical hoodie, it's the one that's on the front.
The nautical hoodie?
Not a cult.
Not a cult. You said it slow.
Jesus
and it still
Christ.
will sound like not a. I'm like, naughta. If you say cool next, I'm going to be very confused. But it was not a cult.
It's near a cult.
Yes. Near a cult. It's not a racehorse. It's, yeah. It is not a cult. So if you're familiar with our Fathers' podcast, Fathers with an apostrophe after the S podcast, then you would recognize those designs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got that.
And
I
after
also
last
added,
episode, there was a quote that you said that you turned into a design, which I am going to get.
I think because it's not even specifically from the last episode, it was from...
You were talking about your commissions.
Yeah, it was on Twitter, and it came up because you sent something to a friend of ours. You sent my commission form to a friend of ours in reply to a tweet, and I said,
right.
I will quite willingly commit crimes against art and God.
Yeah.
And that is now on a t-shirt.
It looks. Would I wear that on a shirt, or would I? See, some of this merch, I don't know if I want to put it on like a mug or something, or fridge magnet, or.
Yeah,
I can't tell what I like best on some of this stuff.
I think I like.
It sounds like I'm just like pimping out all the different things you can get our merch on, get the logos on, designs on. But no, I don't know what I want it on.
I like phone cases, and I always like having spare phone cases. So
well, you've got an iPhone, so you can easily get iPhone cases. I've got a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, and that is not a common phone case thing that you can get with custom designs on.
That's one of the big reasons why I moved to iPhone. Apart from the fact that if Penn and Teller ever do Selfish again, it's an iPhone, so you have to be using an iPhone.
Yes, yeah. And the trick is hold it like this as well, because that's how Penn holds it when he's walking around the stage filming. So that way he can see, oh, you're holding it right. So I know I can hold it like that, and I can see clearly that it is an iPhone. So there's a hint for him as well. And another hint, if they go back to doing the Miser's Dream, Silverfish, with an audience member, make sure you were wearing spectacles.
I thought
wear some
that.
glasses.
Yes.
Yep, because Teller always does the part where he takes them off the face and ching, ching. So
yeah, I'm gonna make sure I have my glasses on that I don't need. But I wear glasses sometimes.
Yeah, I wore my glasses, my seeing glasses today at the basketball. I went to a basketball match today and watched the Perth Wildcats play a game of the B-ball, the opening game of the season.
It's probably the only sport I've heard you actually invested in.
Oh yeah, I don't give a shit about any other sport. Basketball. Look, we will even pay a subscription fee to an online streaming service that has ESPN on it, just so we can watch the away games.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a bit weird. But it's because they cannot be pirated.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware. But yeah, it was the opening game of the season. Last season was dark times for the Perth Wildcats. It was the first season with new owners after the previous owner had sold, and I believe has since died. But they're not really trying to change things up or anything, but it was not a good season. It was the first time in 33 years that the team had not made, I say the team, it's not been the same group of guys for 33 years. The Perth Wildcats, it was the first time in 33 seasons, I believe it was, that they had not made it to the finals, to the in any like quarterfinals, semifinals, or anything. So the last 33 years, they've always made it. So that record is gone. It's in the, those world books of records made by the Irish booze hounds. So I think they're trying to change some things up a bit this season, but they're doing it the wrong way, because it's not like, let's change up the team, let's change up the coaching staff, which of course they do. The teams can change every year and the coaching staff has changed, but they're doing stupid shit, right? I've been going to the games for like 6 years now, and first quarter starts, it's everyone's stamping their feet, clapping their hands, because it is the Queen classic "We Will Rock You" starts playing, right? And then the whole crowd is standing up while this is happening, and you stay standing up to this song until the Perth Wildcats get their first points on the board, and then everyone gets to sit down and entertainment continues on.
Yeah.
This game, before it starts, the courtside announcer, like the hype man guy, who's the one with the microphone that's always going, "Come on, Perth!" It's like, "Yeah, let's go, Wildcats and defense," and all that sort of shit. Matt Donnelly is very familiar with that role, because I believe he did it at his high school.
It seems a very Matt role to do.
Yeah. But he was like, okay, this time we're changing it up. Instead of standing on our feet and clapping our hands until the Wildcats score their first basket, we're going to do that until the opposing team, the Brisbane the Brisbane Bullets, when they score their first point. So we're putting it on them. As soon as they do, that's when you get to sit down. It's like, what the fuck is the point of that? You're changing up something which has been, it's probably decades long tradition that's instilled in all these people who've been going to the games for so long, right? But not only that, they played a different song. It was like, it's still a song that they play like at the start of the third quarter normally, but instead it's the first quarter. So everyone was a bit confused already because it's like, we will rock you. You can straight away come in with the doom doom ch, doom doom ch. But this song, it has like a weird intro, so you can't start clapping to it yet. And I think before that weird intro had even finished, the opposing team had already drained a fucking three within the first 5 seconds of the game. I'm like, well, that was a fucking waste of time. And I sit right down, but no one else sits down. I'm like, God, people don't listen to instructions, and either that they're confused, don't know what the hell is going on. And then 10 seconds later, they just drain another three. It's like, they didn't think this through, did they?
No.
It's like, it's ruining a tradition, and you don't fuck with tradition. That's the whole, and that sort of got me into a bit of a mood for the whole game. Because that's what I'm like. That sort of shit fucks with me.
You're already an incredibly moody person anyway.
Yeah, that's right. What were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about store designs.
Yeah.
There you go. We need a moody way. Oh, perfect. We can do like a moody octopus, but like with my head or something. I don't know.
Your hair.
We'll give
A
that
ginger
a thing.
octopus.
Yeah.
Because we've also got, I mean, I think the only other one we've not mentioned is the fact that before Scoop Fest, I'd done a text design that says, "We love and support Matt Donnelly in this house." Real person, Matt Donnelly. And I'd done a white text and a black text version, and that's now on our store because that is very Hey Buddy Nice podcast appropriate, because it's true.
Yeah, that's right. And we need to reach out to Matt and say, Matt, we need you on this. We need you on our show.
Yeah, we do need
just like we reached out to another podcast friend. See, look, another fucking segue. These are perfect today.
We're on fucking fire today.
Yeah. It was Mr. Dr. Jimothy Job Tholomew, I believe it was, aka Dr. Jim, Sin City Shrink from Pod Therapy.
Yes. Will I explain how that came about?
Yeah, because you've actually been a good person and have started to listen to some back catalogue episodes of Pod Therapy.
Yes. I decided I was going to listen to Pod Therapy from the start. Because I'd listened to a couple episodes, but never like all the way through, like not in any order or anything. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to start at the beginning and go forward from there. There's not a huge amount of episodes, so it's definitely doable. It's not like ICS back catalogue levels.
No, it's not. It's not almost 1,000. It's not a cool grand.
Jesus. So yes, I started listening to it, and one of the episodes, Mr. Dr.
Episode number
Jimothy.
30.
Yep, Mr. Dr. Jimothy does an. I'm going to call it an Australian accent because he does. But it made me laugh so hard that I rewound it, recorded it, and sent it to Wade and said,
Yes.
I'm never going to feel bad again.
That's right. You're in comparison. Look, not that your Aussie accent is bad by any means, but if Dr. Jim was the comparison, then you are full-blooded Aussie.
Yeah. Our lovely friend, Mr. Dr. Jimothy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I said it to you, and you tweeted.
Oh yeah. I after hearing that, it's like, I've got to tweet Dr. Jim about this. And you know what? I tweeted it at first. I didn't realize that this was a back catalogue episode that you had recorded from. And I said, hey, Dr. Jim, after hearing your Aussie accent, we're going to have to get you on our podcast. You know, I think I even said it was a terrible accent. And then I realized it was a back catalogue. I was like, oh, okay, I better delete that and say going through the back catalogue. And
Yeah.
But fellow Aussie Dr. Mike was on their latest episode. So it probably could have just stayed there because, look, there's a good chance, I reckon. What I haven't listened to the episode yet. Given the we need Mitzi here to tell us the odds of Dr. Jim doing an Aussie accent on that episode.
Mitzi, come on the show, please.
Yeah. But as a podcast, I also feel like we should be supporting our podcast friends. I'm saying friends. I hope we're friends.
I'd like to think we are.
Yeah. Look, we've hung out with Dr. Jim a little bit at Scoop Fest. We met Dr. Nick at the big Cirque du Soleil show, Mystère, isn't it? You know, the one with RJ.
I do not remember Mystère.
Yeah, I was just questioning myself. That was all. So it's like, look, okay. I saw that they were tweeting about a new episode. It's like, I'll like that and I'll retweet it, and I did that. And then I read the actual, I read the information that they had just tweeted, and I was like, we're still a young podcast. We don't want these. We don't want "Hey Buddy, Nice Podcast" and this keyword to show up when people Google us. So I was like, I'm gonna have to unretweet that. It says, new podcast number 247, curing pedophilia. It's like, oh god. Sorry guys, we'll get you on the we'll catch you on the next one. Next one is our shout. We'll get you on that. All right. So. I did see that the Dr. Mike one's up now, so we'll retweet on that, I think.
Yeah, because Dr. Jim said that Dr. Mike thought his accent was okay.
Oh yeah, and I believed him. I believe, all right, if it's good enough for Dr. Mike, it must be good enough for me. But then Dr. Mike chimed in. It's like, buddy, I got some news for you.
We need to talk.
Yes. Oh, but speaking of Dr. Mike, look, I've got another fucking Segway, Brogan. I can't believe how well this has gone today. Dr. Mike. So Dr. Mike and Matt Donnelly. Oh, we're bringing up Matt a lot this podcast just to cement in the fact that he's a real person. And I reckon a lot of people don't think he's a real person still. Mm-hmm. Dr. Mike, I think, might be Matt Donnelly's personal trainer. Am I right?
As far as I know, he is. Given the fact that Matt keeps mentioning that his personal trainer's in Australia. And, you know, I'm sure that he has actually said it's Mike, but Dr. Mike, my apologies.
Yes, Dr. Mike. Mr. Doctor. No, I believe only Mr. Dr. Jim is the one that holds that title.
Mr. Dr. Jimothy is the one that holds that title. And then there's Dr. Mike.
I added the Job Tholomew to that as well. Mr. Dr. Jimothy Job Tholomew. Matt's been on his journey going to the gym and things like that. And you tweeted out a photo the other day of being at the freaking gym. What the hell is up with that? See that segue?
So I struggle with eating. I like to eat, in the words of Jack Black.
This is not what I'm getting at. I'm not like, why are you going to the gym?
I'm giving context.
We know why people go to the gym.
I'm giving context to explain why this is a very hard. Okay. So on the tweet, I tweeted a picture of me at the gym and said, I'm at the gym for the first time in a really long time. Everybody praise me. Because I need the motivation, because I struggle with eating. I like to eat a lot, and I don't like to exercise at all. So that was a really, really big thing for me to do unprompted, and go on a lunchtime when it was absolutely pouring with rain.
Oh, so you went in the middle of the workday?
Yes.
Oh, wow. And you were wearing a white hoodie?
Yes.
Working out in a white hoodie?
Yes.
Okay. How did that play out for you? Wearing a white hoodie and working up a sweat.
It's my workout jumper anyway, so it's not.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So it's not like you were at work wearing this hoodie and it's like straight and then back. Okay.
Oh, you're thinking I'm in the office. That's the thing. I was at home.
Oh, okay, that makes a bit more sense.
Yeah. So I was at home. It was pouring with rain. I mean, I'd already sorted out a gym membership because I was like, I need to do something about this. So if just dealing with food isn't going to work, we're going to have to up the exercise. And I used to be fucking strong. I used to be really, really strong. Like because I used to play the tuba and stuff. I used to have to carry it and play it, and when I was with band. And it's not one of those. It wasn't one of those sousaphone things that wraps around you. No, it was a proper
Oh, really?
off massive tuba.
Yeah, the giant, it just looks like a giant trumpet.
Pretty much.
Is that right?
Pretty much,
yeah.
yeah. And I used to be able to hold it and play it with one hand.
Oh.
Yeah. I used to be strong. I could not do that now. So I would quite like to get back to that.
See, I've never been to a gym, like not for the purposes of working out or anything like that. I've been inside a gym before, but I've not exercised in a gym. That's why I'm like, I was very confused with. Of course, people wear different clothes to go to the gym and things like that.
Yeah, I found them quite funny because I've tried a couple of. I used to be a gym rat. I mean, this was a long time ago. And then I stopped for ages.
Hey.
And I've tried going back every now and then, but it just never really stuck. And I found that I think it's because the gym that I really liked shut down, and I could never really find a place that I've liked since then. But I found I cannot use the changing rooms, which sounds very strange, right? I can't do it because I need to go into the gym in my gym kit, do my shit, and walk out. Because if I go into the changing rooms, if I take that break and sit down and start messing about with putting stuff in the lockers and stuff, I won't do it. I won't do the workout. Can't
and
do it.
it's if you're on a time schedule as well, that's 10 minutes. Even if you were just going to put shit away, that's 10 minutes of your break already gone.
Exactly. You know, it's yeah, and I wasn't even thinking timescales. I remembered that one of the changing rooms at LA Fitness, this is really aging me for LA Fitness hasn't existed for like 15 years now. 15, maybe not that long. Aging myself there. But no, the changing rooms there were great. They used to have a big massive TV that played the BBC, so sometimes I would walk in, they'd be playing Doctor Who. It was great.
In the change rooms.
In the change rooms.
This is blowing my mind. I don't understand gyms at all, but continue.
It's changed. They had like fantastic bathrooms, like huge bathrooms with great big cubicles. It was great. Right.
So were the bathrooms so big and the cubicles so large that did they have like hand dryers as well, like things that you put your hands under to dry your hands? Or
not in the cubicles, but in the bathrooms.
Okay, but in the cubicles, did they have like those handrails and that for like people with disabilities for accessibility reasons?
They did have some in then, but not
good. Good, but no. All I'm getting at is, so these are so big and so large that there's a place that you could just like take off all your clothes, hang them up over these weird rails, and do a little dance in these spacious cubicles if you wanted to. I mean, I'm not saying you would, but you could. That's how opulent that this gym change room is.
What I'm trying to say, without being creepy, is that one of the cubicles, the cubicle next to the wall in these bathrooms, was my safe space. Okay. I would go to the gym when my mum was swimming, and I would leave the gym early and sit in this cubicle because it was nice and safe, and they played nice music, okay, and it was clean. Okay, is that what you wanted me to say?
No, I wasn't trying to be creepy, if that's what you were saying. I was just, look, I was doing a cover of a joke that Mr. Danny Katz made, okay? That's all I was doing. Just on the off chance that, who knows, maybe one day columnist Danny Katz will listen to this episode and he's like, hey, that's my joke, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I don't know that joke, so I did not pick up on that at all. And I was like,
I know
what
you
the
don't.
actual fuck are you doing?
It doesn't matter. I was just glad that you were able to eventually set me up with the towel the rail thingy, because the joke was that he was I think he needed to use a bathroom and there was nothing available, so he goes into the accessible bathroom, for disabled, whatever you want to call them. And he was surprised at how large and spacious they were. And he's like, it's so large in here that you could even take off all your clothes and hang them over the clothes dryer and do a little dance around the room. Like, I mean, if you wanted to. that was it. That was all.
Okay.
I know one person who will appreciate that. And that's probably just me.
But anyway, going back, I went to the gym. I actually use the gym, and I'm my muscles hurt because I haven't used them in a long time.
So you're going on cardio or muscle?
Both.
I think they're words.
They are words.
Right.
So I start off with the treadmill for about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on what intervals I do. You know, upping the speed, upping the incline, that kind of thing. And then I use, I think it's called the chest press. Anyway, it's the one that you've got the bars and you pull them together. I'm doing the motion to show Wayne what I'm talking about.
As if, like, I don't know, I'm picturing butterfly wings, almost like you're flapping wings in front of your face.
Yeah, you got that. And even, I'm showing it, and it hurts. It hurts there.
Yeah.
So doing that, and I'd like to get back to using the elliptical machine as well, because I used to be really good at that, which is like the standing bike thing, where you've got the...
Yeah. Like I picture it as running skis almost.
Yeah, that's that thing. You know, so I need to make that a habit. I need to get back to doing that because my body just does not want to lose weight with changing food alone. It's a struggle.
It's always hard. Look, I don't have half of that problem now due to drastic measures, but I don't have any strength at all, basically. My entire life, I've never been able to do a push-up, and I discovered the other day, I think I can do 3. So that's how good my strength is. And I've never been able to do a pull-up or a chin-up or anything like that, which I still can't do. But my job is it's holding things above my head all day. Yeah. So I do have arm strength, but not in that manner. So I don't understand.
Maybe different muscles for different.
Maybe. Yeah. All right. We'll have to ask Dr. Mike.
We'll ask Dr. Mike.
Yeah.
But I can't do a push-up as far as I'm aware. I've never been able to do a push-up. But maybe I should try doing them.
I can do an inverted push-up, is where a let-down. I mean, I'm a fucking expert at let-downs. Just ask anyone I know. But that's like where you're just like in the push-up stance. I don't know, push-up position, and then you just lower yourself down gently. I can do that easily. If that's all the push-up was the let-down part, I'd be a pretty good expert at it, I reckon.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I just can't then push myself back up.
Yeah. And apparently every time I've tried to do a push-up, I've been trying it incorrectly. Apparently your arms are meant to be like in tight and like not out like that. They're meant to be like that. Yeah. See that? It's all news to me.
I think that makes it harder though.
Oh yeah. I only became aware of it from watching the Uncharted movie, seeing Tom Holland do push-ups in it. Yes, I was taken by Tom Holland, shirtless, doing push-ups.
I don't dislike Tom Holland, but I'm not a fan, really.
He's been in too much, too close together.
Yeah. I think because I don't like how MCU dealt with his Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah.
And yeah, it does piss me off. And I think it doesn't so much piss me off. It pisses me off the fact that they keep claiming that it's Universe 616, which is the universe. That's our universe in Marvel. That's the...
Oh, okay. So 616 is the universe that we live in.
Yeah. 616
So what the fuck universe is Peter Parker, like Tobey Maguire in?
Well, that's the thing. So... That's only the comics verse. That's only the comics verse. But now Marvel are trying to claim that their universe is 616, and I'm like, no, fuck off. Actually, you've got nothing in common with 616. Fucking stop it.
I've just done a Jacob, and I've asked a question that I don't care about the answer to.
I mean, I could rap for that. I mean, I don't like I like single Marvel movies. I don't like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm really pissed off at it. I think it's overhyped. I think it's the fact that it uses CG far too much, and I think so they can just throw millions of dollars at fucking CG, and that doesn't make a good movie. Fuck off. I'll stop now. I'll stop now because I could go for a while on this, but
See, yeah, I enjoyed the first X-Men movie. I watched that.
that's not MCU though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Then I watched the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire in the cinema. That technically not MCU either, is it?
None of it's MCU until Iron Man.
Iron Man, yeah. And I watched the Ang Lee Hulk movie, and that was pretty fucking bad. But it did have Eric Banner in it. He was Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
And look, just throwback to last episode. Eric Banner was in The Castle.
Oh, was he?
Just saying. Yeah, he was. He was the one marrying Dale's brother sorry. He was
Wayne's
marrying
brother.
Dale's sister.
Wayne's sister.
His sister. Well, Dale and Wayne are brothers.
Yeah.
But they also have a sister who got married to Eric Banner. That was all. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So are we talking about the current standings of the accent challenge already? No, we won't. We won't.
We will because
leave
it's
that for a
done.
sec. Well, it's not over yet. Oh no, I'm talking about the castle. The castle's not done. That's up for 6 days in total.
No, neither it is.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting what day.
We just had a brief production meeting. I don't remember where we were, but we were talking about the last accent challenge. And the voting is in place. Look, I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. Brogan was gloating, but look, 4 votes are all that have been cast so far. There's still plenty of time. And it's not like it's 4-0. It's 3 votes to 1 in Brogan's favor. I'm not concerned at this point. I haven't even voted yet. I haven't even made Kez vote yet. We could be tied like that.
I think that's really funny then, because that means that our votes cancel out. You get an extra vote because you've got Kez. And
do you know
and
anyone?
I still beat you twice out of the 3 times we've done it.
Oh yeah, this is look. I was already winning the last episode, the Highlander one, by enough points. But there was a couple of hours left, and I said, "Kez, I don't want Brogan to make a comeback, so you need to vote for me right now."
Uh-huh.
And she did. Look, she could have. She hadn't even listened to it. So. Look, we say people can vote for whatever reason they want. So that is the reason why Kez wanted to vote for, because I asked her to.
Did you not
that's
only
what we're
win by
going with.
1 vote?
No, I won by, it was
You didn't win by a lot.
it was it a 70-30 split or something?
No.
No? Okay. It wasn't, look, it wasn't minimal.
It was
You know, we're both
56 to
going at-
44.
Percent.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You caught right back up, did you? Shit. Hang on. I have to look at this with my own eyes. I don't trust you. 56 to 44. Yeah. Okay. No, see, look, there was a buffer of what? 4 votes, 5 votes, I reckon, with those percentages. I'm not doing the math to work out how many votes versus what percentage. And, but
That's 10 votes to 7. Or no,
Yeah,
10
there
votes
you
to
go.
8 even. Sorry, 10 votes to 8.
Okay.
So yeah, you won
Yeah.
by 2 votes.
That's fine. Win's a win, baby.
And that was without my big brother Justin.
Oh yes, yeah. Justin was on my side, but I did have someone say that they, for the current one, they couldn't decide who to vote for, so they just didn't vote.
Fair enough.
So maybe that's why we've only got 4 votes so far, because the majority of people look. There's 2 votes. The difference between us right now. Mm-hmm. It's the same 2 people who I won with last time who know how to make up their mind. That must not. I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying that they have a clear winner in their head or will always vote for. No, that doesn't work because I won last time.
Stop trying to make excuses.
The world is a mysterious place. But we're not going into accent challenge yet. We were just discussing the current results of our last accent challenge.
I mean, it's not like I'm going to get a belt like the Great Night Boys have and parade it around and anything like that.
We'll do it at the end of season 1. Whoever has the most.
Oh, God.
I don't imagine we're going to have seasons.
No, we're not going to have seasons. It'll be...
It's just...
The next event that we're both at.
Yeah, which we don't know what it will be yet at this stage, because we don't know what's happening with Scoop Fests and 1000th episodes. Really, I imagine it will be a Scoop event though.
Yes.
Now, what we're gonna do is there's no Segway here. I've let myself down. I've let you down. I've let the dear listener down. But we've had some reviews come in after we kindly, strongly suggested to people that they should leave us some reviews on the iTunes, etc. And look, I'm just mumbling and talking a lot because I closed the webpage by accident. I'm just trying to open it again while it loads. I'm just trying to riff a bit. Here we go. So we've got 2 reviews in, 3 technically, 4 if including Aaron's on another podcast app. So and they're great. We love the cheese bags. We've got our good friend Tito. I think I recognise the username being Jake and Dance 37 is Tito. I believe. Am I wrong?
So.
Yeah. Yes, Tito had some nice stuff to say. Should we just read them outright or?
Can do.
Yeah, we'll read these reviews because we're still a baby podcast, and I feel like that's what podcasts do. In fact, damn it, that was another segue. We could have used the segue, and I'm very disappointed.
What could you have said?
Myself. We could have said that episode that you were listening to of Pod Therapy, number 30, they were talking about Mandy's review of them when they were in their early days of the podcast. So we could have related straight back to this. Oh my God. How did I not realize that?
You failed the cheese bags, Wayne.
I'm shamed. Because of this shame, I must announce that I am stepping away for a moment and I'll be back. I'm just going to go get a drink. Refreshing. All right. So we'll read Tito's first because we know that Tito loves us because Tito is known and mostly credited as being the one person on Twitter suggesting that we should start a podcast. Mm-hmm. And Tito writes, for starters, it's 5 stars, which is amazing. It says, You might be looking through your podcasts, wondering what to listen to. Nothing is catching your eye. You might also be wondering, why would I listen to a Scot and an Aussie talk about nothing in particular? I don't have these answers for you. What I can tell you is that when I suggested many months ago that Wayne and Brogan should start a podcast together, I was right. So throw on Hey Buddy, nice podcast while you are walking your dog and be prepared to just hang out with some soon-to-be great friends. You won't regret it. And if you do regret it, that's your fault, not mine. Very nice review, but I have some notes. For starters, you're wiping out a good percentage of the population who do not have dogs to walk.
You can walk your pig.
I think we're more. Yes, that's a known fact that you can walk your pig. But also, I'm not sure if when they say be prepared to just hang out with some soon-to-be great friends, is that suggesting that you and I are going to be great friends, or that we are going to be great friends with the listener?
Is this how you tell me? Is this how you break it to me that we're not actually friends?
No, this is all I'm saying is that they need to be more concise. Like, does the giant baby have the knife or do I? It's which is it?
Very true.
So, and then the other review is from Pete MacDaddy. Now, I'm going to read this review line by line, and I want you to say how many stars you think you've given based on what I just read. Mm-hmm. All right?
Yep.
First line. 11 episodes in, and I'm not really sure I get what it's about. How many stars do you think this is going to be?
2.
2. All right. Yeah, it sounds fair. Mostly talking about stuff that I'm not into.
Still 2.
Yep. Oh, wait, there's a turn, there's a but. So our good friend Matt Donnelly says, when a but is introduced, it just negates everything that was just said. So, but I'm completely hooked. Woo! Every Friday, here I am downloading and listening right away. Must be the accents. Plus, I listen in a comfy chair. Oh, okay. So maybe the chair is the reason why we got 5 stars. I'm not complaining about that.
I'll take it.
And your chair, it's got a big blanket draped over it today. Is that for comfort factor or is it cold?
It's because it's cold and because energy price or lecky prices are so high that we're not allowed the heating on.
That's everywhere. Everywhere prices are skyrocketing.
But I am
energy
also
bills.
Naturally very cold. So
that's just your personality, though.
You wouldn't have thought it with me complaining about the heat, but I'm clearly just never happy.
Yeah, my comments that just slid right past you, did it?
Yeah, I was too busy talking.
Good, cool. We'll leave it there.
Nope. What was it?
Yeah, you'll listen to this episode at least two more times.
Yeah.
So I say at least 2 more times. You will listen to it at least twice, I'm sure.
Yes.
Once when I send you the edit, and again when it airs.
Yeah, there's an excellent segue in there, but I don't know if you want to use it.
Okay, go on. What's the segue?
I listen to the podcast when you send it to me for editing purposes, so I can catch any possible errors or things you might have missed. I somehow missed the fact that you left 15 minutes extra on the end of the podcast.
Of just silence.
10 minutes of just silence.
Nothing until like the very end. There's like a minute 40 of us just talking about the advertisement that we had just recorded.
Yep.
And there was some inside talk there that we shouldn't have been talking about, I think. But yeah. I think we're fine. If you don't know what we're talking about, that's because I took down that episode and put it up again without that extra 15 minutes. I couldn't work out why the episode was so large to normal. It's like, man, I'm having to encode this in like 129-bit. What's going on?
Well, not only that was the second time you had to edit that episode, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah.
What was the other time?
Because you misspelled merch.
Oh, that was nothing. That was, I just go into Acast and just update the title. That was nothing. Yeah.
I was talking to Chris about that, and he thought you'd misspelled it on purpose to make fun of me and my accent.
No, see, what happened was when I originally typed it, I typed mech, like giant mechs. Robots, and I picked that up, and then I wasn't wearing my glasses. Because I don't wear my glasses unless it's a basketball game or I'm playing a video game, and I positioned my cursor, hit the R button, save. So yeah, there's three variants of this episode. There's variant 1, which is Mechera in the title. There's the variant with the blank audio with 1:49 of us talking at the end, and then there's the current version. But look, if you've listened to the extra stuff at the end of that episode, some of the things we talk about one day may come to light anyway. So there's that. I guess it's sort of behind the scenes stuff. But I guess speaking of behind the scenes, not every episode, but quite a lot of episodes, there's bonus content and behind the scenes stuff that we chuck up on YouTube and on our website, nicepodbud.com. Now, it's a bit hard to find because it's in a super secret area. And look, you just click on the button that says super secret area and it will take you right there. But there's it's on YouTube and also just audio files that you can download, and there's anywhere between 6 minutes and I think the longest one is 12 minutes or something like that. It's just stuff that we cut out because it doesn't fit in the show, or there's retakes of things like sometimes we fuck up the intro.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of takes of that. We also put all the episodes, all like the actual podcast episodes on YouTube, if that's your thing as well. If you don't want to listen on a podcast app, you can listen on YouTube. I know people that do that. They just put YouTube episodes on and while they're cleaning the house or something.
I know
and
that
I feel
do
bad
that.
for you.
I know that I do that
Do
with
ya?
the Great Night.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's Great Night though. That's an awesome show. I was
That's
going to
true.
say, if you're cleaning the house for an hour and 40 minutes or however long hour and 20 minutes when I don't add the extra 20 minutes on at the end of a podcast. If you're cleaning for that long, I feel bad
Yeah.
because no one wants to clean their house for that long. And I was trying to see if we could get a segue, but it's not a segue. It's a throwback to what we were talking about before, and that is it's time for the accent challenge. I just realized we don't have an accent challenge theme. I was saying that as if we had a theme for it, but there's nothing there. This accent challenge comes to us courtesy of Ranchan. I probably closed the email, but here it is. Ranchan. Ranchan dropped in on my comic drawing stream yesterday and was questioning whether they should send in what are these called again? An accent challenge. I was going to say an audio jock versus nerd. If they should send in an accent challenge. And straight away I was like, yes, absolutely. And Chris, the microscope, yes, you definitely should. And there and then, Ranchan told me what it was, that it was a speech by... Actually, they prefaced it by saying, do you like wrestling? And I'm like... Well, I'm only really familiar with a particular era of wrestling, which is like, the Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Randy Savage, Undertaker, Yokozuna, the 90s, basically, is what I'm saying. Ultimate Warrior. Anything earlier, anything later, it's not really my forte. And it turns out that I didn't know what this quote that we've been given is, because it's from 1986, I think it said. And so it's... I was just a wee baby.
Well
when
before
this
I was
happened.
born.
Exactly. Apparently, the first WrestleMania was on my birthday, I'm told. At least when my dad watched it for the first time. Because I don't know why he thought this was a good story, saying, oh, yeah, when you were getting born, I was watching the first WrestleMania. I was like, cheers, mate. But this is his accent challenge, American South. Is that... Oh, because it's Dusty Rhodes, and Dusty Rhodes must be from the South. Now, we've been linked to the video of this as well, but we haven't watched it yet. We're doing something a little bit different. So we'll play you, dear listener, the audio right now, because I'm going to edit it in afterwards.
I'm gonna reach out right now. I want you at home to know my hand is touching your hand for this gathering of the biggest body of people in this country, in this universe, all over the world now, reaching out because the love that was given me, and this time I will repay you now because I will be the next world's heavyweight champion on this hard time blues. Dusty Rhodes Tour 85.
There we go. That's the audio. We don't know what it sounds like. We're going in blind. We're going to do our best to recite this. Now, I don't know what we're going to go for. Which accents? Are we just going to go our accents, or are we going to go... We don't really know what Dusty sounds like. I think we should do our accents, but it's the cadence and tone that we need to try and guess that is being portrayed.
Yeah, because otherwise we end up doing 3 accents.
Yeah, we're not going to do 3 accents, and we don't necessarily just want to do our impersonation either, which we learnt is it can go good, like with the Mike Myers, So I Married an Axe Murderer challenge, or it can go bad. Well, bad for me. But no, I think we both agree that we weren't fans of the Independence Day challenge, were we?
Yeah.
Or was that just me?
No, I agree. Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah.
We appreciate you sending it in anyway.
But we've got the text here, and it looks like a good length. Even though it says that in the video it's from 2 minutes and 8 seconds to 2 minutes 40, but it's a small paragraph. So I think we'll be right.
Yeah.
It is your turn to go first.
And I'm doing this in Scottish.
Yeah, we're gonna do normal accent challenge, but we're gonna try and put how we think it would be read in like
As if we were
yeah.
Dusty Rhodes, but you were the Australian Dusty Rhodes and I was the Scottish Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, that's right. And then we'll swap accents and do it like that. Because we don't know. I don't know I don't think I've ever seen a Dusty Rhodes wrestling match.
Yeah,
let alone heard him talk.
I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. That was the era definitely well before because I was into wrestling in the naughty. I say I was into. Mitchell was.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I haven't had the feedback from my previous Scottish accent hasn't yet been Yvonne approved. So.
Oh, look, if it's not Yvonne approved, then I don't know what more you could do.
Just keep trying. Just keep trying for that official seal of approval.
So your mum's accent. Look, I've said nigh but 2 sentences to your mother, and she said about the same to me one time as she popped her head into your little office there to say hello. And the complaint is that your accent is not Ouija enough.
Yes.
Yeah? So how Ouija is your mother's accent?
Absolutely not. I sound almost exactly like my mother.
Okay, so what? This is confusing me a lot now.
It's not the fact she's disappointed that for an accent challenge, I'm using my speaking voice.
Oh, I see. I don't think it can't be about the accent. No, because you put effort into it. I'm not complaining because look, I'm the winner in this situation.
Exactly. But yeah, no, my grandparents on my mum's side came from the posh part of Edinburgh, so my mum comes from the posh part of Edinburgh. So. What
about your dad's side? Is your dad more Ouija?
No, dad's still Edinburgh, but he's not as quite as posh.
All right. What about Mitchell?
Mitchell sounds like Kevin Bridges, so Mitchell's closer to Ouija. Mitchell's the most Scottish sounding out the lot of us.
Cool. What about Rollo the dog?
Sounds Spanish. Don't know why.
Oh, Rollo does sound like it could be a Spanish name. Even I'm helping you procrastinate and not get into this one.
We're so bad at this. Right.
Yeah. Brogan was warming up the face muscles, physically moving them with hands.
Don't put my ritual on blast.
Oh, look. See, why don't we try some vocal warm-ups first, right?
I'm doing this to remind myself that I'm doing this as I have to be Scottish, and see that I'm not doing a Mike Myers impression.
Yeah.
You know? Right. Okay, I have to read it a little bit because otherwise I'll lose it. Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to reach out right now. I want you at home to know my hand is touching your hand for the gathering of the biggest body of people in this country, in the universe, all over the world right now. Reaching out because the love that was given me this time I will repay you now, because I will be the next world heavyweight champion on this Hard Time Blues Dusty Rhodes Tour 85.
That is a weird one, isn't it? I can't even guess what it's meant to sound like.
Yeah, I did stumble because the love that was given me. I don't know.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound right.
Weird.
It doesn't sound right.
Because the love that was given me in this time, I'll repay. You know, I get very heavy right up into the last sentence. I'm getting very heavy Neil Diamond vibes. Like you've got the my hand is touching your hands, like hands touching hands, like Sweet Caroline. It's totally. So maybe we should have done it Neil Diamond style. That's just another accent we would have to do.
Exactly.
Okay, it's my turn. I need what is it? The tip of the teeth, the lips, and the tip of the tongue. I don't know what. Red leather, yellow leather. I can do that.
The tongue, the teeth, the lips.
The tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lip. No. Red leather, yellow leather, lead leather, red leather. Yeah, there we go. Good to go. Yep. Vocal warm-ups.
Yeah.
My forte. Mm-hmm. I'm doing Aussie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to reach out right now. I want you at home to know my hand is touching your hand for the gathering of the biggest body of people in this country, in this universe, all over the world right now. Reaching out because the love that was given me, and this time I'll repay you now. Because I will be the next World's Heavyweight Championship of this Hard Time Blues Dusty Rhodes Tour 85.
Yeah.
It does get very tongue-tied, doesn't it?
He says now a lot.
Yeah, yep, that's what it is. And it's definitely confusing with that reaching out because the love that was given me, and this time I will repay you now.
That was the bit that tripped me up, and I was like, am I saying the words right?
It's like when I start saying things and I'm not sure if it's a real sentence or not, and I say, me speak well.
Yeah. It's like when I send you words and you say, are you having a stroke?
Yes. Oh, that reminds me of the Micro Scoop's favorite comic of mine, where it's I want, in my head it's the mother. The mother is walking past the teenager's bedroom, and you hear this like noise, and the mother's like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And the kid's like, "I'm having a stroke," and then she bursts in the room, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Chris loves that comic. And you know what? That is really the most I'm trying to get at with my comics when it's like that. That didn't have any weird comments or anything like that. I think that's as blue as I'd like to go.
Yeah.
But the bonus panel is he's got a cat in his lap and is stroking the kitty on the head.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfectly innocent.
Exactly. When you see the bonus panel.
Yes.
There you go. That was for you, Chris. We're swapping accents, aren't we? There we go. Still no sound effect, but it's done.
My stomach grumbled. I don't know if the microphone picked that up, so...
I didn't hear it.
Because I was going to say that was the... as you were transitioning, that was the transition noise.
And now for our accents to metamorphosize and swap. We're gonna. That's what it's gonna be every time. I'll download a free sound effect of stomach grumble, and we'll put it in.
I'm gonna reach out right now. No. Sorry.
You're not gonna reach out. You're not gonna reach out.
I made a mistake. I took a drink before I started speaking.
It's
and
like
realised
eating a chocolate before recording.
Chocolate milk.
Oh, I was right.
And one thing you should never take before trying to say something or sing or speak or anything is fucking milk.
Yeah.
I could just feel my mouth go. I was like, nope.
I had some DJ Monkey biscuits. I'm doing fine.
Right, okay. I'm gonna reach out right now. I want you at home to know my hand is touching your hand for the gathering of the biggest body of people in this country, in the universe, all over the world right now. Reaching out because the love that was given me, and this time I will repay you now. Because I will be the world's next heavyweight champion on this Hard Time Blues. Dusty Rhodes Tour 85.
Yeah, that's all right. I think that was better than the Scottish.
I don't
Because
know.
you knew what was coming up. It was easier to read.
Even then, I was... Do you know what? It wasn't even that. It was just like, I'm just going to keep talking. I am just going to keep talking.
Yeah. Okay. This is... If I mess it up in the early... In the first sentence, God, that's the problem. There's commas, but it's all one long sentence. Mm-hmm. Right up till now. All right. Yeah. I might have to re-attempt this if I mess it up. Because I have to... Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. But for those playing at home, dear listeners, I can say red leather, yellow leather. I'm doing it because I think it's funny. Because I saw someone do it once, I think. Can't remember who it was. Anyway. I'm a reach out right now. I want you at home to know my hand is touching your hand and the gathering of the biggest body of people in this country. No, I'm going to have to start that again.
Yeah. You said me and you just...
I did that on purpose.
I know you did.
I got lost up in the gathering. I'm a reach out right now. I want you at home to know my hand is touching your hand for the gathering of the biggest body of people in this country, in this universe, all over the world. Reaching out because the love that was given me, and this time I will repay you now. Because I will be the next world's heavyweight champion on this Hard Time Blues Dusty Rhodes Tour 85.
That was good.
85. How would you say 85?
85. I said 1985 the first time round, but
Yeah,
that felt more natural.
There's the little comma before the 85. Look, you didn't need to bring that up. Like, the listeners can't see what we're reading.
That's true. I just meant only because on every other version of it, my Aussie, you're Scottish, you're Aussie, it was 85.
Yeah. Look, I'll do you a solid. We're going to leave all this talk in about the 19, but I will edit out the 19. Do you want me to do that?
No,
I will.
Fine.
No, look, I'll edit out the 19, and then we can, but we can't cheat our listeners. Like, they will still know that it was said, but it just won't be in there for posterity's sake. That's all.
You're not gonna. You barely edit anything out anyway. Half the time when I say edit that out, you go okay, and then don't.
But then I usually question you. Look, I'm gonna need to put that post of the Bluey gif up about you saying to cut that. Actually, I've posted it, but we've posted it by now. But it's just a quick throwback to Tito, saying that, suggesting that we should make a podcast. Look, we've all seen the cat video now of the real retelling of me and Brogan meeting for the first time and how it went down. That is the true story of Hey Buddy Nice Podcast.
I mean, that's pretty much how it went.
It really is, actually. If anything, this podcast is nothing if it's not based on our accents. So it's now up to you, dear listener, to vote on our accents in the Accent Challenge. That is just on Twitter at NicePodBud. And you do you, boo. You vote for either Brogan or I for whatever criteria you want to judge us on. It might not even be related to this accent challenge. I mean, we'd appreciate it if it was.
Yeah.
It just lends some credence to the integrity of the challenge. That's all. But you vote away. And if you would like us to do or attempt your accent challenge, shoot us an email. It's admin@nicepodbud.com, or go to nicepodbud.com, and at the top of the page there's a little contact button right next to the super secret area button, I believe. And yeah, send us in your challenge, and we will probably do it. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Lengthwise, this is a good length. We like this length. We can't have it overarching speeches like Independence Day. Ryan again, sorry. But yeah, we will review and we will decide how we will tackle it. Most of the time it's just going to be in our own accents and then swapping accents with that grumbly tummy noise. But as well as Twitter, you can find us everywhere else on social media. You got that Facebook thing, you got Instagram, Tumblr. Where else are we? We're on Imager. It's just at NicePodBud. That's just for, casually reaching out to us. Or you can even talk to Brogan directly on Twitter at 7 billion needles.
And if you want to talk to Mr. Joe Vanazzi, as he was dubbed last episode, then he's at Wayne Geo. Very confusing, I know, but still.
I was very confused because excuse me, Mr. Joe Vanazzi is my father. Call me Mr. Joe Vanazzi Jr. But yeah, thanks for stopping by and having a listen.
And as always, stay fresh, cheese bags.